The next subdistrict, CC, is proposed to preserve existing shops and restaurants in the commercial core and provide more affordable goods and services.
另一個係 CC 咧，係現有嘅商業區嚟嘅，我哋即係保留呢個商業區。
This subdistrict maintains what's happening today and encourages more commercial activity that fits in with the existing context.
我哋要保留原有嘅商業同時，鼓勵咧新嘅商業去嗰度發展。
Next slide. For land uses, this means allowing commercial spaces on upper floors of buildings, which is a very common condition today.
呢個意思就係我哋出現除咗揾到出現之外，我哋會允許佢哋喺樓上加建。
The district also allows small and medium-sized commercial uses while forbidding larger ones to make sure that small businesses can stay in Chinatown.
同時呢啲土地咧會限制大型商業廣場嘅進駐，或者限制出現淨係限制出現中小商業。
And large hotels, research labs, and offices would be forbidden.
酒店啦、研究所啦，同埋大型嘅辦公室都係禁止嘅。
Next slide. The draft dimensional regulations for the CC district match the existing density that's there today.
而家我哋嘅設計咧係符合到而家現有嘅密度㗎。
The building height limit of 80 feet remains the same as existing zoning.
而家佢嘅高度咧同而家嘅根本都係一樣。
And a small floor-plate maximum helps maintain the existing small scale.
同時咧，地面嘅唔知佢話呢樣係比較細嘅。
And then finally, a high building lot coverage reflects existing density. And building lot coverage is a percentage of how much of the lot a certain building can take up.
同時呢個高度咧符合而家標準，同埋佢哋需要同現有建築佢最基準比例一致。
Next slide. The next set of zoning districts are focused on affordable housing production.
下一步我哋先講一講呢個可持續房屋嘅住房嘅建設。
The residential 10 or R10 is intended for the larger apartment building areas of Chinatown, and the updated zoning here reflects what those buildings look like.
我哋呢個 R10 計劃R10計劃咧係為咗呢啲大型嘅住宅區嘅建設而設計嘅分區。
The mixed-use 10 or MU10 focuses on mixed-use development, which is incorporating residential and commercial together, as the key area between Chinatown's commercial core and the rest of downtown to the north.
商住混合呢個佢話商住混合嘅佢嘅間業實咧係一個為咗分別原先嗰兩個建築嘅分別建造嘅計劃。
And both of these subdistricts include a brand new affordable housing overlay that allows additional height if a project includes affordable housing.
呢兩計劃咧揾可承受住房嘅建築啦，同時佢會喺原先嘅增加咗新嘅標註。
Next slide.
My name is Suzanne Lee. I'm a long time Chinatown activist. My career started as a teacher at the old Zozai Quincy School in 1974. I ended my career as the principal of the Zozai Quincy Elementary School. I'm retired now. I'm also a homeowner in Chinatown. And I am the president emeritus of the Chinese Progressive Association and currently the president of the Chinatown Land Trust. So I have many years of involvement in Chinatown, particularly on land use and master plan. I participated since the 80s in all of the Chinatown master plans. So this issue, and I want to commend the zoning board and this planning process that allowed this discussion to move forward, because we've been trying to deal with zoning often in the Chinatown area for a very long time. Because whatever the zoning, the number one issue in the Chinatown, whether that's business or residence, has always been the high rents. That for both small businesses and residents, it's very hard to keep up those increases when it's zoned together with the downtown area, right? So when we look at this zoning, so I have two major comments. One is our approach, well, when I mean ours is mean other people who've been working on this issue for this many years, that to look at what is going to allow people to stay in Chinatown and small businesses to stay. So it's about the common good, not, no offense to owners of land, but land speculation is what led us to today, the problem that we have today. So we are not for any kind of zoning that would push that speculation. Because once you have certain type of zoning, some people will look at it and say, oh, they allow me to build 300 feet. The land that I have now worth a lot more, so they're waiting to see how much more they can sell it for. So we want to, so this proposal, having different zoning, actually help us to take a look at the whole community rather than allowing certain people to get really, 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 really rich, but the rest of the people have to pay the burden of not being able to live here. So that's one thing. This is why I support the different type of zoning and also taking into the account of the different use. Because the Chinatown residence area has never been recognized by the city the way the Bay Village and Beacon Hill was. That would protect those historical old houses. This is the first time. This is the first time. So we cannot allow to have all those what's remained to disappear. 我頭先講咗好多，都係簡短啲講中文。我係李素英，我係華埠，我住喺唔單止係住喺華埠，我係有物業喺華埠。咁大家都知道，我喺呢度幾十年，做過老師，做過新學校校長，現時係華埠進博會嘅會長。咁我頭先所講嘅咧，就話其實呢個計劃咧，我哋係好似我咁樣有一班人咧，幾十年嚟，30-40年嚟都係注意呢個分區嘅問題嘅用途，因為我哋知道有某一部分，有啲人如果係佢擁有嗰塊地咧，佢時時都睇住，唔單止係塊地，而係啲物業炒樓啊，因為等住睇嗰啲價格係幾時高。買平價買翻嚟，高價賣出去，形成到唐人街咧好多地方啲住客小本生意咧都冇辦法可以留喺度，繼續喺呢度生存。咁呢個係最主要嘅問題。咁呢個分我好同意呢個分區嘅睇法，就係話有啲地方係要受到保護，唔可以俾佢實施。因為呢個係第一次市政府承認華埠唔單止係個商業區，亦都係個住宅區。以前咧淨係叫做商業區，咁變咗其他社區，我哋隔離嗰個 Bay Village 同 Beacon Hill 嗰啲樓咧係有保護㗎，就係唐人街嗰啲冇，呢個係第一次受保護，咁我哋唔可以損失嗰個機會。OK， 就係咁多。I will send you more details that my feedback.
Thank you.
冇人保護我講。
首先咧，構成我哋唐人街咧，除咗住居民之外，其實喺度做生意嘅商家同埋擁有房地產嘅業主咧，我哋都係呢個核心社區，我哋見到嘅所謂 MU10同埋 CC 呢個地區嘅主要嘅持份者。咁呢個所謂 CC 嘅小區入邊，有好多慈善團體，好似開陽工商會、龍門市工堂，同埋其他嘅盛事公所，好似自由救生公所、黃氏、李氏、余氏、伍氏、梅氏等等，都有自己喺呢度嘅物業。我哋呢啲團體長期係為我哋社區服務，包括提供比波士頓市值低嘅服務。例如而家波士頓2個單位，2 2間房嘅單位，平均嘅租咧係3500蚊。我哋唐人街入邊依家呢啲公所物業所收嘅租咧係1700蚊左右。
So the average rent for two-bedroom housing for average number for Boston is $3,500 a month, and for us we only charge $1,700.
但係好多呢啲樓咧，即係3、4層高嘅啫，所以能夠提供嘅數量咧係唔多嘅。
Most of these buildings are 3 to 4 floors, and the units to take a rising unit.
另外咧，近年好多移民嘅經濟條件咧，其實係改善咗好多嘅，所以對於呢啲樓房內部嘅裝修咧，佢哋嘅要求係不斷提高。
And more many people have better income recently, and they have a higher requirement for the renovation of these buildings.
加上呢啲樓咧，好多已經係年紀好大嘅，好快維修嘅費用咧係非常昂貴嘅。
And all these buildings have a long history, and to repair and restore the building costs a lot of money because they are getting older.
市政府呢一對電同埋消防安全條例嘅要求咧，更加令呢個維持翻呢類房屋嘅費用咧係百上加斤嘅。
The strict requirement of the city of Boston for fire and other safety requirement has increased the difficulty to also maintain these buildings.
重建可以話唯一嘅一個選擇。
The only way to solve this question, this difficulty is to rebuild the buildings.
但係重建唔等於貴族化。
But rebuilding does not mean that we become a local or higher standard housing.
我哋呢啲團體唔會因為重建之後咧係唔顧你自己本身嘅宗旨咧，係將個租金咧大幅提升嘅。
We will not increase our rent after rebuilding.
今次社區重建，我哋睇到 CC 咧，佢將個高度咧限咗80尺以內。
I saw that the new high limitation for the CC district will be 880 feet.
由於建築費嘅昂貴咧，如果只係增加2至3層高嘅話咧，根本係冇經濟效益嘅。
Because how expensive to build a building, only between 2 to 3 floors will not help to sustain this high cost.
所以呢個高度80尺咧，係限制咗我哋呢啲團體咧，為我哋社區提供更多呢啲係低於即係市值租金嘅房屋嘅。
This height limit how we can offer a cheaper affordable housing for residents.
亦都令到想搬翻嚟唐人街住嘅新嘅一代新嘅移民咧，個機會咧係減低咗嘅。
And gives chance for the new immigrants to move back to Chinatown.
嗱，關於我哋都有人講到，我哋唐人街細，所以細小生意啦。喺疫情之後咧，我哋嘅生意大咗唔少，亦都因為冇咗泊車位咧，對我哋唐人街小生意係影響好大嘅。到依家我哋都仲未能夠恢復翻好似以前咁樣嘅。
So about the small business in Chinatown, after the pandemic, our business has gone downward, and also because we don't have enough parking space, it's become a very big problem for us.
另外咧，我哋依家小商家申請呢個牌照係需要好長嘅時間。
And it takes a long time for small business to get their license.
市政府係有必要咧，係減咗啲不必要嘅程序，同埋增加有關部門嘅人手嘅。
City Boston should reduce how hard to get a license and increase the people who help do the audit.
令到我哋申請牌照嘅時間咧大幅減少咧，我哋業主或者商戶咧係唔需要白白浪費嘅寶貴嘅時間，同埋佢哋嗰個金錢，因為你就算係等緊嘅時候咧，業主都係要俾房貸，都係商戶咧都係要俾緊租嘅。
In order to save our time and money, because even when we are paying for a license, we still need to pay the rent and everything else.
如果呢個情況唔改善嘅話咧，令到好多我哋唐人嘅商家咧就唔會嚟我哋唐街投資，就轉到其他附近嘅城市嘅話咧，我哋唐街冇晒嘅投資咧，慢慢唐街就會消失嘅。
All these troublesome steps will prevent other investment to come in Chinatown and eventually Chinatown to die.
最後咧，亦都係最重要嘅啦。市政府多年嚟咧不斷提倡所謂 DEI。
And another problem is DEI.
即係多元 diversity 平等 equity 包容 inclusion。
It's about diversity, inclusion, and equality.
但今次社區呢個規劃咧，我哋啲小業主作為呢個少數嘅族裔咧，我哋應該係可以跟唐人街周圍嘅發展商享有同樣發展房地產嘅機會。
We want to have a chance to
亦都係可以跟其他族類一樣咧，可以享受到建立財富嘅權利。
we enjoy the chance to play our own niche.
總結咧，我希望代表我哋華埠商會咧反映我哋會員嘅意見。
Here to reflect our opinion from our Chinatown Business Association.
希望呢個所謂商業區咧係統一成為只有一個區，唔再分 M10 或者 CC， 即係將兩個放埋一齊。
We want to combine everything.
亦都係希望嗰個高度咧係提高到250呎。多謝。
And our goal is to increase the height limitation to 250 feet.
Thank you so much for providing those comments. I just want to quickly respond to the point about licenses too. So one thing that we are trying to address through zoning is part of the permitting process, not necessarily the licensing process.
我係學嚟得華埠土地信託會嘅主任，but you can translate it. I'm not that good. So our organization focuses on preserving and improving existing housing as permanently affordable home ownership opportunities and rental housing.
我哋目標咧係為咗令香港保留現有嘅可算可及嘅廉租房嘅可承受住房嘅面積同埋業主嘅權利嘅。
And we believe that progress for Chinatown is very important. The principles we believe in are development without displacement.
我哋認為咧，波士頓華埠嘅發展係好重要嘅，但係我哋希望呢個發展過程點樣係唔會講我哋嘅現有租戶走嘅。
So that means keeping Chinatown as a place where new immigrants can land, but also a place where different generations of people can continue to live at different income levels.
我哋希望咧，除咗令到華埠咧變成一個新嘅移民可以住之外咧，係可以令到各個年齡層嘅居民咧繼續可以喺度住嘅。
And out of the combined efforts of many different institutions, developers, and groups in the community, we have actually been doing a pretty good job in Chinatown of developing new housing. There has been a lot of new market and luxury housing developed, which has not particularly helped the community, but there has also been a lot of new development of affordable housing at a lot of different income levels.
我哋至於暫時目前嚟講嘅過程裏邊，都發展仲係可以嘅。我哋有唔同除咗我哋有唔同嘅商業房之外，仲有唔同嘅可能甚至乎好似喺唐人街呢度發展出。
So I support the having the different sub-districts. Some people have said that divides Chinatown. Actually, I think it's important because different parts of Chinatown have different scales and different needs.
我支持依家呢個特色嘅分區方案，因為我認為咧，唐人街除咗有每個區域都有唔同嘅需求㗎。
And for R1 and CC, keeping those modest levels of height are important because those are where some of the people most vulnerable to displacement are living.
我認為 R1 同 I1 同埋 CC 呢兩區咧，個普遍高度係好重要，因為呢個區域咧係佢個居民咧係比較係受到呢個搬離係比較影響比較大嘅。
And we want to keep people, we want new homes, yes, and we want to keep people in the homes that they already have while working to improve them.
我哋希望喺發展嘅過程中咧，令到原先嘅居民咧仲可以繼續住喺佢哋而唔係搬離。
Because I know there are some residents here in the room who have been displaced from homes that have been demolished, and those residents never get the chance to come back.
我哋知道咧喺今日呢個會議裏邊有好多人咧係因為房屋拆遷而被搬離嘅，而且並冇有機會翻返去裏邊住㗎。
So that's why I believe I think generally the proposal is positive. Reasonable height limits, different heights for different sections, helps us to keep people in their homes while allowing for growth and development as well.
所以我認為呢咁樣嘅話係利益良善嘅，係會喺唔同區域有唔同規格係一個好好嘅方法。
Property taxes are also a big concern for many owners, and having reasonable height limits also helps to calm the rising property taxes.
另一個問題咧係喺物業稅嘅，比較矮嘅樓咧會對我哋喺緊屋比較好嘅。
I do think that 250 to 350 feet is a bit too high. I would support 120 to 200 feet as more reasonable.
我認為250尺到350尺太高啦，我比較符合我嘅理念咧係110尺到200尺。
Finally, I wanted to put forward a couple ideas. The city has an acquisition opportunity program in order to fund the preservation of existing housing to remain affordable. I think we need an acquisition opportunity program for commercial small business space as well.
我哋知道咧城市咧一個收購計劃，我哋希望咧呢個計劃同時覆蓋呢個小型商業。
Also, as Mr. Chan talked about family associations, many of our family associations, we think they're kind of like, have goals similar to ours as a community land trust. They have been keeping the land for the community for many generations, and often the rents may be cheaper. I have an idea if the family associations can legally have some kind of deed restriction that keeps the properties affordable as they have tended to do already, that could allow them to have their properties assessed at a lower value and therefore lower the property taxes.
頭先講過咧，我哋所有好多公親會咧都有一個比較平嘅租房嘅，所以我希望咧政府可以減少我哋嘅限制，去令到呢啲租房更加多。
The final point is I have heard some members of the CBA say that they want to get rid of Phillips Square, and I believe that Phillips Square should be improved, not eliminated.
同時我聽到華埠商會
Because Chinatown does need some open space.
聽到華埠商會係想話移除呢個 Phillips 廣場嘅，但係上我認為 Phillips 廣場應該更加好咁樣去建設咧。
Thank you, Leah.
My name is Tyler. My name is Tyler. I'm a small potato in the Chinatown community. And for this thing is that I want to make 2 points, okay, at this hearing for meeting. Number 1 is regarding about the building height. Can you put this here? I want to make 2 points. Regarding about the building height.
主要係關於高度同建築高度問題。
During this building, I put down the notes. That for example, N10 is 50, CC3, blah 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 like this.
比如咧，我睇到見到佢啲一啲咧係300萬尺啊之類嘅。
As you know, Chinatown was given a high limit because of the zoning requirement.
因為而家用呢個高度係以前嘅高度設定嚟嘅。
But today, I heard that the city is reducing the building height in our Chinatown community, which is not fair to us. It violates our right.
今日我聽到咧，政府咧將會減低我哋嘅高度限制，我認為呢個唔公平。
仲有侵犯咗我哋嘅。
侵犯我哋。
Ladies and gentlemen, you know that I'm in the real estate business. I've been doing business in Chinatown for almost 40 years.
我做不同產業，我同一做生意做40年以上啦。
唔係，40年以下。 道，亦都好有心機。
And spend a lot of time on this.
去感受唐人街嘅需求，
To feel the need of Chinatown,
佢哋嘅處境。
the environment.
點解我講中文？The thing is that for the business operator, for the business owner, for the business worker, and most importantly for the property owner, just like we said here, the value of the property is what we call the best use.
對於店主啦、員工啦，同埋業主嚟講咧，最重要係
The best use. 最好用。The best use is defined as or consists of the FAR.
所以我最重要嘅問題嘅方位係認識呢個
嗰個叫做樓面同埋地積比率。The second one is the building height.
第二個咧係建築度，
And the third one is the government restriction
第三個係政府規範。
or the zoning restriction or ordinance or dimensional requirements.
佢對於呢啲所有嘅建築同埋高度嘅限制。
Ladies and gentlemen, if you put all these factors together, that will basically restrict or enhance the future redevelopment of a parcel. In this case, in Chinatown, many of the old houses are dilapidated. We need to rejuvenate it. So,
未來發展，其中特別係我哋台灣嘅大屋咧，好多都舊晒，我哋想去重新去翻修。
if you have a chance, City Council, to walk through Tyler Street, walk through B Street, walk through Hudson Street, and go into any old houses basement, you can see how bad the condition is. It is not livable, it is not workable, it's not, honestly, it's a shame.
試完之後有機會咧，完全係屋企一路行落去咧，你用幾參啲房間嘅地下室咧，就會變好難睇、好混亂啲，反正確實係肯定係真係收錢。
By the way, for the reporter, I have videos and pictures to show that, if you're interested to see it. As a matter of fact, I can even point out to which address of the property that you can ask the owner to give you the permission to take a tour of it.
當初上個記者咧，如果有興趣咧，我係提供呢啲房係睇嘅地址啦，同俾同埋同嗰個開會同嗰條俾你做一參觀。
Reducing the building height is a big jeopardy. It's just like choking a baby that they cannot breathe.
講緊呢個建築高度咧，係解決一個好嚴重嘅問題，會好假設分隔，好似佢呢條個屬於一個條件咁嘅方法。
As one of the BPDA officials have interviewed in the same pen mentioned,
喺三晚上面咧有 BBPA 嘅政府曾經同我做採訪。
he said that Boston business and housing are working side by side.
佢同我哋講咧，波士頓嘅商業咧同埋住宅咧係一個連體嘅合作計劃嚟㗎。
And that gentleman is in here.
嗰位喺度。
As you know, that the city officials are very concerned about the development of Chinatown, and quote unquote, even the mayor is concerned about that, and that's why we have all these meetings, okay, to give us a chance to voice our concerns, suggestions, and also criticism, so that we can move Chinatown forward.
我哋知道咧。
We do not want Boston to move backward by putting a cap on our building height that reduces our floor to area ratio and then the number of stories of the building that we can build. Let me tell you an illustration because nobody understands what is 80 feet, 45 feet, 150 feet, 250 feet, or 350 feet. how many stories of the building can build?
我想我應該指出嚟咧，因為好多人都唔知道呢啲白尺呢啲係對於我哋講嘅幾層樓嘅意思，所以我要指俾你睇。
Now, if it is about 350 feet, the building height is roughly about 34 stories.
300萬尺咧就係34層樓。
Based on the first two floors is commercial.
因為之後咧就係呢個商務。
Each commercial floor is about 15 feet high.
每一層呢15尺以上。
Because you have to leave 5 feet, what we call the panel, okay,
5尺嘅空間
to house the HVAC system.
去放一個水分水裝置。
To comply with the energy code of the state of Massachusetts.
同時去符合呢個華產嘅呢個能源政策。
And then from 3rd floor until the 24th floor is residential, assume.
3層到33層都係一個住宅區。
They require at least 10 feet because you need 8 feet clearance.
整間層之後10尺空間。
For 250 feet.
總共係250尺。
It will be about 24 stories.
到250尺咧係大嘅層樓。
For 150 feet, it's about 14 stories.
14層樓。
If it's 80 feet, it's only about 7 stories.
如果80尺係7層樓啫。
Ladies and gentlemen, when you come down to 45, it's only 4 stories.
如果你差45尺咧，就只有4層樓啫。
There is no chance that a developer will amass a few parcels of land, take it down, and be developed with new buildings with only 4 stories.
冇可能咧，因為會重建一個4層樓嘅建築㗎。
Do you know how much it costs for the average construction cost?
你知唔知呢啲唔同嘅需要？
Depending on the form, whether it's stick form or it's piling. The piling right now is over $500 per square foot. If the height is not enough to support the investment, nobody is going to come in to develop it. And we are losing the housing of the affordable nature because each time we have the development, the city will say, hey, you need to give me 15% or 20% of affordable housing. If the land is not being developed, we lose that.
如果冇足夠嘅高度咧，冇反正因為政府要求我哋有部分要俾個可承受住房，所以如果房間越少咧，嗰個價格就越貴㗎啦。
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm proposing that we keep the height to 250 feet on the CC. I also want to increase, no, not to increase. I want to make R1, R10 all have the same height.
Yes.
Affordable housing can create a fair market housing for the needy and greedy. I'm sorry.
之後提供呢個建築高度咧，先可以幫到有需要嘅人啫。
Thank you for your comments. It's been about 6 minutes, so I want to make sure you take the time. Yeah. I appreciate it.
But I want to be buff to comment from.
Sorry. Can we try to get to, if there's other questions from folks, we only have 10 minutes left. So, but thank you very much.
For factual reasons, where are you proposing raising?
Sorry, is there a clarification?
Can you just, for factual check, just clarify, where are you proposing lowering versus raising or keeping the same height?
From
Because I think that
the zoning
the
proposal?
comments are saying we're lowering the heights, and I think that's only a very small.
So in the R1,
Just let him clarify.
so in the R1 district, today it's 80 feet maximum, and the proposal is to lower it to 45 feet. In the CC district, there's actually 2 different districts today that have it approved. So today, one of them is a maximum height of 120 feet, and that's a very small portion of the CC, the western portion. There's some portions that are 45 feet, and then others that are 8 feet. And then for the other areas, the R1 and the M10, it's an increase from the underlying zoning of the existing is 120 feet.
其他區域咧，因為增大就呢度區域降低。
Okay, I was trying to I can continue.
I just want to see who still wants to ask a
I
question.
want to hear him talk more. I'm giving him my time so he can finish his presentation.
Thank you very much. So there's one question.
I would like to hear him.
So
Please finish.
we have these two then.
Thank you.
Great.
The second part I want to make is I want to rebuff.
第二個咧強調一下，
唔係強調，係叫做反駁。I want to rebuff two of the Chinatown community members making comment in the newspaper interview.
我想反駁兩個同街團嘅喺三馬上面嘅發言。
This article is from Boston Globe, January 8, Wednesday.
呢個係喺波士頓華埠區上面嘅。
One of the lady mentioned
一個女士講咧，
Chinatown suffered
唐人街受到
decades of
數十年嘅
increased crime
嘅犯罪增加嘅
and negative impact
嘅副作用
in the community.
嘅影響。
When you say decades, that this is over 20 years,
如果數十年應該超過20年以上㗎啦，
maybe 30,
可能30年以上，
maybe
40
40,
年以上，
maybe
可能
50.
50年以上。
I don't know why she mentioned that. Can we fact check that? I call the police department to find out for the past 50 years what is the
我
crime
哋
rate.
反會做一個實際嘅調查咧，佢講得唔錯咧。
And most importantly, that you have proved that you are
雖
right.
然你證明你自己係講得啱嘅，
That lady's name is Lydia Law.
佢個名叫 Yellow，
I didn't say anything, I just
我
want
冇
to
講
use
啱
that.
啦，我哋報紙啦。
Second one,
After the passage of the 1970s.
this is my time.
呢個第二個女士咧，
Who said,
佢
well,
話
Chinatown is very, very small
唐人街好細，
and congested already.
佢啲容積
Up to 35 story is just
30年以上係好唔
35 story building is
係唔
ridiculous.
啱嘅。
Gentlemen,
係啱。
個反映應該其實
look at this.
呢度喎，你睇下，我綠茶嗰度係好高咯，呢度。
Thank you. I want to jump in here as the city council. I think I've earned the right to speak here. But what is not going to happen is we're going to divide the community. And I get a sense that it's already happened, and it's been happening. The personal assaults and division in the town is not going to help the development process. I expect everybody to treat each other with respect and to work together. Again, I'm not going to allow division and personal attacks on anyone, regardless if we agree with them or disagree with them. I expect a respectful meeting where everybody can agree, even if you disagree with something. And I expect that from today going forward. And I don't want to hear that negative comments from anybody about a personal attack on anybody, because I'm not going to tolerate it, and I hope the BPDA doesn't tolerate that either. Thank you.
All right.
Anyway, 大家好，Councillor Lucas and Councillor Lane, defending for I'm the head of the planning department. This is our staff that prepares the work. I think that I really want to just thank them for doing the work and actually coming out to the neighborhood to meet Now, I just want to say that I I wanted to be here today to make sure that I can hear firsthand all of the comments. You should know that this is the top priority for yeah, and I appreciate the passion that everybody brings to the table, but I have to say that no matter how passionate you are, that there are clearly different ideas on how the community can grow. So I think our job at the planning department is to actually take into all of the input that we have from the different perspectives, and then actually craft a set of compromise that acknowledges the needs of reinvestment and new investment by the business community and the property owners, while at the same time balancing the idea that Chinatown has some physical characteristics, some ethnic characteristics that need to be preserved. So there's no one single right answer. And what I heard today is an assumption that either the business interest will overtake and take priority, or the preservationist interest will actually be at odds with that. I don't believe that those are actually in total conflict. And our plan is to try to compromise and actually move Chinatown forward.
我哋嘅話，規劃工作咧係聽下嘅意見咧，去綜合咗點樣可以性地規劃出嚟。我今日聽到啲現場聽到意見咧，有啲人咧係認為個需要比較大，有啲人認為居住基地咧比較重要嘅。咁我認為唔係，我哋認為咧唔係用一個頭係啱嘅，我哋呢個需要綜合性答案。因為我哋嘅工作咧就為咗呢啲嘅。
So one of the things that Mayor Wu has asked me to do in the planning department is to adopt zoning regulations. And going forward, the planning department's job is to actually make sure that we're constantly reevaluating the regulations and zoning that we put in place, rather than negotiating with developers one by one. That we will reevaluate the regulations as a whole. And if they're not working, our job is to come and review it. But review it and change it with your input. Okay, so I would say that I hope that with adopting these zoning regulations, that the changes that we all want to see, we can see some of it actually emerge. And if they don't happen, we will come back to you, talk to you some more, and work on changing those regulations in order to actually get to where we all want to go. Now, I think, I'm sorry, that's gone on too long.
Yeah, I can try my best.
我正講到個中文咧，唔可以講得會咁會講得好刻意，所以咧揾翻譯嘅幫我翻譯。
就係咁樣嘅，我哋目標咧，我哋嗰個規劃好咧，會一邊咁樣發展嘅，我哋期間咧一邊去重新去評估呢啲計劃呢啲修改嘅。我哋唔會逐一去揾一個發展商去溝通呢啲細節。我哋希望整一個綜合性嘅計劃咧，去做發展方案裏最後規劃嘅。
Okay, so I want to thank everyone. I'm actually going to stay around. Actually, many of you know that I'm also a property owner on the street. My development rights are also being reduced. But I think that on the balance, that reduction with respect to other areas that we're actually allowing more development rights is a kind of compromise. So now I would say that my doors are open. I know I've already reached out to a few other people in the group to meet with them. And I want to get the input that as best as I can. And I'll be saying a little bit more if you want to say a little bit. So thank you.
係啦，少少呢樣嘢咧，我同時我睇嚟解釋有乜嘅，雖然我權利都俾人沽，因為咧你話被削減嘅，所以咧我同你講一聲，我同大家係嘅立場差唔多嘅，所以大家咧有機會咧，如果有意見咧，可以同我講。